I have finally finished my marathon of open world games. Dying Light 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and Elden Ring. I've dumped well over 100 hours into each, and while I haven't 100%ed everything, I have done a shitload, and more than enough for me to now fix them. First up, Dying Light 2, Techland's sequel to the 2015 open-world ass-whooping zombie sim. I loved the first one. Now, despite it being so similar to Dead Island, there was enough for me to separate and love. Mainly the parkour and weapon systems. So I was very excited and hopeful that the sequel would bring some sweet, fresh shit to the table. Well, they brought some shit, alright. Some good, some bad. So let's jump in. Ha! Parkour! Speaking of jumping, the parkour is back and with a vengeance. It hasn't necessarily been revamped, but it feels more filled out. Lots of sliding, wall running, air gliding, grappling hooks, pipe swinging, vault jumping, where the first game was basically just run and jump. Dying Light 2 feels much more like Mirror's Edge with zombies. It even bleeds into the combat, but more on that later. Suffice it to say, you better like parkour, motherfucker. Wow. Honestly, that might be the only highlight worth highlighting. Good sentence. I mean, the game looks great for the most part. Combat is okay, mostly the same. And the actual highlights, these are actually negative. So real quick, I'll say this. I really did enjoy this game despite what is coming. Dying Light 2 manages a fun open world with the player just moving non-stop from activity to activity, day or night. You're constantly getting upgrades, crafting materials, completing side quests. There is always something to do. It's mindless, but it's the fun kind of mindless. So Dying Light 2, I'll give you an 8. But there is so much room for improvement here, especially when I consider the long development time. I expected more and it left me a little disappointed. So let's get started and you can see what I mean. Time to fix Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Okay, let's start with a small poke. Graphic and technical quality. Some cleanup here. The game can bug out, screen splitting, small things. Almost not even worth mentioning due to the fact that the game works great for a huge open world. To the point where I'm actually more surprised the game is not just a huge buggy mess. And the bugs I did encounter, never game breaking, instead kind of made me laugh. Did I just convince myself the bugs are a highlight? Nah, clean it up. Okay, so for those who don't know, Dying Light 2 is a first-person melee combat parkour game. So you may be wondering, how is the combat? It's okay. It gets better as the game goes, with more upgrades expanding the moveset and bridging the gap with parkour, allowing you to combo them more. However, not nearly enough. While you trudge through the first 3 hours, it will become clear how Techland really wanted to make this work. There is a real emphasis on the parkour combat combo, and it's a real shame because it never comes to fruition. There is real potential of a cool flow. So, how would I fix it? Well, actually, I would make all enemies 1 or 2 hit kills. The issue is that you get caught a lot of times just hacking away with your shitty shovel. Well, what if instead you could ground slide, kicking out an enemy's knees, then take the zombie's head with 1 clean swipe, follow that up with a drop kick, sending a zombie into a horde, forcing them back, throw in a quick Molotov, pull out your katana, slice 2 zombies in half with 1 power slice, vault over a third, launch yourself into the air, bring your katana down, plunging it through the zombie, turn, throw your katana into the final zombie, pinning him to the wall. Now retrieve your sword and wall run off to cut down more zombies. This fight sounds so much more fluid and dynamic than the hack, 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 turn around, hack, hack, hack that is the majority of the combat. Like I said, you can sometimes pull off a nice parkour move, vault kicking a zombie off a rooftop, but it is very rare and you will have to go out of your way to actually do it. This new combat system would work great even against human enemies since guns have been all but removed from the game. I suppose I am suggesting a complete philosophy rebuild of your combat and game. Move away from the RPG with all the number counting and stats that come with. Instead, opt for a fast-paced, quick timing, free-flow 1 to 2 hit kill combat system. It's almost like they want to. They're already focusing so much on the parkour. Well, that's fast, but your combat is slow. So let's go fast. Dead Island can be slow. You're the other side of that coin. I think they'd be surprised how much fun people will have taking out groups of enemies in what feels like one swing. Like a ninja! Are you ready for the best part? This philosophy change will have a trickle-down effect that will literally fix all my gameplay issues. The parkour and combat will now mesh better, and the combat will be able to focus on new abilities. Parkour throws, grabbing items like knives, bottles, and quick throwing them. Interactive environments with like steam pipes, electrical walls. There is so much more that can be added and tweaked now. Like, why the fuck is the grappling hook not used in combat? Honestly, these are my practical abilities. What if they even go nuts with it and start adding all these crazy abilities? Right? It's the best part. The floodgates are now open. Another cherry on top, you ask? The philosophy change fixes UI and item issues. Just to inform you, the UI inventory is a cluttered mess of weapons, crafting materials, armor, key items, blah, blah, blah. Simplify, baby. No RPG equals less items, less clutter. Now I don't have to worry about switching out my medkits every 40 seconds with newer and more powerful medkits. By the way, the dumbest fucking system. Okay, incoming rant. So, you will upgrade items such as medkits, Molotov, C4, whatever, but you don't automatically upgrade the items in my inventory? Not only that, I still pick up weaker versions of these items around the world. So now I'm constantly changing what medkits I can quick use? It's just a fucking stupid system. Fix it! When an item or weapon or armor upgrades, all of them do. Now I only have one medkit instead of 14 different kinds. I think it's less, but you get the point. Less items, less weapons, less looking in every cabinet, less everything that slows this game down. Okay, now that the gameplay is fixed, I will shine a light on the issues of the story. First, the story is so meh. Like, things happen and you just don't care. That is because of two reasons. One, the technology isn't quite there. The narrative moments of the NPCs just don't work. Why? Because those fuckers have some serious dead eyes. The second factor, shitty half-ass acting. I'm looking at you, Rosario Dawson, and while she may be the worst, she sure as shit isn't the only.
Maybe take some of the burden off of you.
Nice try, but no, Aiden. No! I brought all of this down on myself. On me. On those poor victims. On my brother. And even you. And maybe I should just live with that. But I don't want to. At least not for very long. Only for about, say, 15 floors. I can handle that.
The open world is littered with shitty Elder Scrolls styled line reading. Sure, it's an open world, but it doesn't feel real. The whole thing is just unbearable at times, and causes the story to just not matter. So, how to fix it? I hate saying this because it too is as lazy and half-assed as the acting. But, do better. Be better at your job. You have to sell these moments as actors. If that means getting rid of Rosario, then bye-bye. Get it right. But they need help. And the game sure as shit is not doing them any favors. Like, sometimes the music doesn't really fit what's happening in the moment. Sometimes the writing is really bad, not the main culprit. And the world continuity creates a real disconnect for the player. I finished a side quest screaming at a woman that her kids were pieces of shit for killing a dog. She throws me out of the room with some choice words, ending the quest. I turn around and go right back into the room, and she greets me with a, "We need your help." It's as though the last 10 minutes didn't even happen. So the world needs more time. The whole game just needs more time and editing. Okay, I know this was a huge overhaul for a game I really enjoyed. The checklist side activities made it really addicting. Fuck, I played for over 100 hours. But I think they sacrificed quality for quantity, and while Dying Light 2 is far from a bad game, I think this rebuild would make it an awesome game.